Village. We are here. Welcome to Thursday Therapy. I'm going to give it a few minutes to fill up. And I'll ask about my mic later. Today we are talking about the act of forgiveness, or more like the process of forgiveness. Um, hey guys, come on in, come on in. Welcome, welcome. It's Thursday Therapy. Hello. So today we are talking about the process of forgiveness. Let me know, hey Sarah, let me know if you guys can hear me. The last week's recording that I looked over had this weird background noise, and so I decided to use my headphone mic today. You know, it kind of messes up my swag, but it's okay. But let me know if you guys can hear me okay. And if you can't, we'll work something out. So today we are talking about the process of forgiveness. This is a huge topic, especially for the holiday. I actually got an email last week from one of our beautiful village members. And hey, Natasha. And she was wanting to know about how do you forgive family members and move on, especially as we're coming into the season. And I think that this is a really big thing for all of us because we are asked to go into these spaces with our loved ones no matter what, right? And it's sometimes really difficult to be in the same space with loved ones who have hurt us. And the hurt can range from, saying something sideways a couple of years ago, or all the way up to someone who has been abusing you or abused you for many years of your childhood while everyone just looked the other way. I cannot even imagine how hurtful that is to have to be in the same room with someone who was once your abuser and nobody saying anything, right? But it doesn't even have to be that extreme, right? It could also be, in-laws. Raise your hand if you are stressing about sharing time with in-laws, extended time with in-laws this holiday season. Kim says, ugh, my life, this session is for me. Baby girl, this session is for all of us, okay? Jennifer, I see you, honey. Cause and it doesn't have to be in-laws. It can be anybody. It can be sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles, people who have expectations of us, or people who violate our spaces, people who violate our boundaries with their ignorance. Y'all have those older family members who just violate your boundaries with their ignorance. Like, people were not, especially women, were not allowed to say no to certain things back in the day. And so here comes your old uncle touching you in ways that you don't want to be touched, all up in your face, offering things that you don't want. And hey, everybody, come on in, y'all. And do you feel obligated to accept behavior, A, just because it's family, B, because it's family and the holidays, right? We are having a conversation about our overarching conversations about forgiveness, the process of forgiveness, but how we are going to walk into these holidays and these situations where we are with family members, we're with family members that are violating us at multiple levels. Hey, Amber, touchy unc, yes. Do you have touchy uncle? I have uncles that just do too much with personal space. They don't respect personal space. And it's not 1954 anymore, okay? Great uncles, you know what I'm saying? And we as women have endured, all sorts of things. Like, even I have a family member who doesn't appreciate natural hair. And every time I'm in a space, there's a conversation about, why is Mia wearing her hair so nappy? You could at least brush it. You could at least, fix it. And it's like, this is how my hair grows out of my follicles. And actually, I spent a lot of time on this that you're looking at, even though you don't see the value in it, right? Amber says they be like, hey, baby, exactly. Kissing you all in the mouth and stuff, trying to, right? Yes, it's more verbal with mine. Exactly. Hey, Level Up Credit, welcome to your first Thursday therapy, girl. So we are talking about forgiveness. We're talking about touchy uncles at Thanksgiving. We are talking about disrespectful family members with their words. You know, Jennifer NY Glass Glass says it's hard dealing with family members versus someone else. We just allow it to cause you don't we allow it because you don't want to start drama, family division, or being the black sheep, overall drama. Exactly. Hey, Roche. And the interesting part about the holidays is that we are all on high alert, right? Because it's a celebration and you're not supposed to be too serious. You're supposed to be happy. You're supposed to be accepting. You're supposed to just go with the flow. And I wrote a piece last week about being in spaces with people who have done wrong to us and how some of us could win Emmys with our performances. We are not happy. We are not feeling good. We are not at peace. Actually, we are overwhelmed with anxiety because we are in the room with people who have deeply hurt us and we're not allowed to say anything in the moment. So I know that we've all been there, whether it's with our direct family or it has been with our in-laws. I know that I have some trauma associated, like emotionally, with my in-laws as well. And so, and that's family that I married into. That's the family that, you know, I chose because I love their family, my husband. So, you know, it doesn't stop at just the family that we didn't choose. Sometimes it's the attachment to our in-laws as well. So I definitely want to talk about the process of forgiveness and how we can use this process in the next 2 or 3 weeks in order to prepare ourselves for Thanksgiving, because that's the next big one that's coming up. I feel like I missed something from Kimberly. Oh, yes. Kim says, I'm just not in the mood for it. I'm using my pregnancy as an excuse to stay away. Middle finger to everyone. I'm listening to you, Mia, still. You know what, Kim? If you have to use your pregnancy as an excuse, do it for now, but know that you still have to find your voice in setting your boundaries and upholding them so that people not only respect what you're saying, but they also honor and give you your space on an ongoing basis. Because if anybody has ever set boundaries with family, now the family that's known you your whole life, or the family that's known you for the duration of your relationship with their loved one, if you change, it's just like, you know, what is going on here? Why are you acting like that? Like all of a sudden, because I'm taking care of myself and because I now have boundaries and you can't just do what you want to do or treat me the way you're accustomed to treating me, which has genuinely hurt me over these years. Now something's wrong with me, right? So we have to learn the language of setting boundaries. We have to learn the language of upholding those boundaries for ourselves. Excuse me. And honestly, it is the language of self-love. When I am loving myself and I am in tune with my own needs and I am available to myself to uphold my worth, then my language of boundaries is kind and compassionate, and you know, it's easy to receive. But you'll still have the pushback, which is why we have to repeat ourselves over and over and over again, because change is a process, right? Just like forgiveness, and we're going to get into it. Kimberly says, friends too. I've been hurt by friends and have been struggling with having conversations to let them know I'm hurt. I just stay away. So with friendships, it can be easier to just let friendships go. However, if they're very meaningful to you, because you won't continue to be hurt by it. You just have to heal the memory of it, right? You have to heal the memory of the hurt that it's caused. But if you want the relationship to continue, then that's about communication. That is about, hey, I love you and I want us to continue this relationship. I want to be your friend, but I don't know how, or you hurt me, or whatever it is that happened. Opening the space for that conversation. The other part of it is to show the person that you care first. Because in a friendship, even when there's hurt, you are still pursuing the relationship. And even when someone has done something to wrong you or to cause you harm, then you still create a safe space to communicate about that. That's why forgiveness is so important. That's why forgiveness is not for the other person. It's for you. It's a process for you to heal the attachment to someone else's behavior. And when we heal the attachment to someone else's behavior, it's so much easier to create the space and keep the space for healthy communication. Okay, let's see what else. What else? Cultivated Healer, tell me your name again. I don't want to just keep using your handle. Yes, I don't like repeating myself, but I've learned I need to accept being a broken record in certain situations with certain people. It's so true, because change does not just happen overnight, right? Change is an ongoing process. And if we expect someone to respect our boundaries, we have to let them know that this is not a one-time thing, right? This is not a Seishan. Hey girl, hey Seishan. So this is not something that I just felt, yesterday and I'm bringing to your attention today. It's not circumstantial. This is real. This is really how I feel. This is really what I want. And I really need you to respect it, or you're going to lose the relationship. Again, I think I said this maybe the last time or the time before. Stephanie from BLCNY, she had this wonderful affirmation that I am okay with being someone's consequence. If a person has to lose a relationship with me or access to me, I'm okay with that. And I think there's a big difference between cutting someone off and limiting someone's access. I feel like people cut others off. It can twofold, right? So you cut someone off because you're angry and you don't want their energy in your space, or you cut someone off to protect yourself because someone is just not respecting the things that you're saying. They're not treating you the way that you want to be treated. Now, the first one, if you're cutting someone off in anger, it's usually done in a way that is hurtful and harmful to the relationship. But if you're cutting someone off in a way that is just to protect yourself, to honor your own boundaries, a lot of times that looks more like limiting their access to your inner spaces, because we all have things that we share with other people that are very close to our hearts, right? We have feelings, we have thoughts, we have problems, we have things that we really enjoy and love that are really close to us. And if I give you, let's say I tell you a little bit about my business, right? And you take that little bit and return to me excitement and honor and love and, appreciation and pride for your friend, then I'm going to give you a little bit more about my business. And then when I give you a little bit more and I'm more intimate about the communication, and you come to me with apathy and confusion, or acting like you're not interested, or even acting as if I'm doing too much. Mia, you just doing too much, girl. You need to go and get you a job like everybody else and stop acting like this. Like, stop acting like you're too good. If they come to me with that, now I know that they can only handle a little bit. So they don't get access to the other things. I might just tell them, hey, I had a great idea today. Or, when good things happen in my business. Because if anyone, I know a lot of you guys own your own businesses, and you know what a journey this is, right? And so you don't, not in order to, but you don't continue to give someone else pieces of yourself when they show you that they can't handle the little bit. And so you can do that with family, you can do that with friends, you can do that in the workplace, you can do that anywhere, and that is how you protect yourself from people putting their ideas on you, or people treating you less than what you know you are, less than what you know you deserve from a relationship. So that's not a cutting off, it's just a limiting access. Feel me? Yes. Okay, let me go back because I love when you guys make comments. Okay. Hey Ishaq, I see you're here. Let's see. Okay, NY Glass, Jennifer says, how I have on this white shirt and I can barely see the comments, y'all. How do you handle when family members tell you, how come you're not doing this with your life? Or they suggest you do A, B, and C when you didn't ask. I see my family just the holidays and it's hard taking them serious. Yeah, because, and that goes back to what I just said, you know, a lot of people will not understand an entrepreneur's journey, especially older generations, and we gotta forgive them so quickly because they are accustomed to a country that had jobs for them and it was easy. You know, you graduate or you don't graduate, it didn't matter. You had a job at a factory or, you know, a business or something. You had security as a person who wanted a job. That is no longer the case, but they still don't understand. This is a whole new landscape for us as, you know, millennials, older millennials. And so I would say, you know, if you have to act the part in the room of Thanksgiving dinner, then don't engage. Don't engage in certain conversation. That's a boundary. You know, I would love to talk about my business right now, but I'm not really in the mood. Hey, it's Thanksgiving. Let's not talk about business tonight. Let's talk about your kids. How are the kids? Change that subject. Change the subject quickly, because you don't have to engage in conversations that you know have no purpose but to make you feel bad, but to make you feel challenged, but to make you feel convicted and criticized. You've been down this road before. I'm not trying to go there. Just like if the certain family member that I was just talking about comes and starts talking about my hair, I would say, you know what? I love my hair. How have you been? How is your job going? You know, did you try my green bean casserole? Because it is really hitting this year. So it's not that I'm putting on a show. I'm just putting up a boundary. They might not even know it. They might not even know it, but that subject is getting changed, and I can, one, affirm that I love myself. I love my hair. You know, business is great. Move it on, because you can't share certain things with certain people. I hope that's helpful. Hey, Kimani. Let's see, when they don't speak to you throughout the year, right, and they get so concerned around Thanksgiving, so how are things going? And that's kind of what family does, right, is they like pop up at the Thanksgiving dinner table and they expect you to just get really personal with them. And it's like, bruh, I haven't seen you in 5 years, and, you know, we're at the dinner table now, like, pass the potatoes. I don't want to talk about my business or anything. If you don't have anything to offer but criticism and offering me self-doubt and spells, you got to be careful about the spells that you engage yourself in. Words are spells. A person can say, especially a loved one who knows us, a person can say something to you that makes you feel this big for months after the occasion. So if you know that a person has that kind of power, if they have that kind of communication style, cut that stuff off. You do not have to engage in those conversations. Engage in the conversation that you want. Start the conversations. You know, and when they start, when you run out of things to talk about, go to the next. Oh, I see Aunt Mary right there. I'm going to talk to you later. Let me go hug Aunt Mary. And move right along. Level Up Credit, what is your name so I can address you properly? Says, I have to close my shirt, y'all, so I can read the comments. I have created boundaries with my family, my bubble, simply because I always feel like I have to impress them, even when the world is clapping for me, literally. I still look back to see if they applaud. Girl, can I just say, I feel you? Don't we look up and say, Mommy, Daddy, look what I did? We still do that as grown-ups, right? Like, look at me, look at me. Even when everyone else is affirming us, it's like our family's approval or affirmation holds so much more value. And that's really something that we have to work out within ourselves, because really we shouldn't be looking to anybody else's approval, anybody else's affirmation. And it's so funny, my husband and I had this heated debate about whether or not affirmation from others is necessary and needed. And for me, it is an extension of a something that was necessary, a survival skill that we carried into our social interactions with our families. We needed to look to our family and say, is this okay, as we learn to interact with the world, as we started to walk, as we started to explore our environment, picking things up and looking at our parent, or even doing something that we felt was awesome, and we're looking to say, yes, that was good, or no, that wasn't good. We were looking for the rule book. But as we got older and we found autonomy and we found safety in our behaviors, we no longer need affirmation from others. However, socially it works, because with marketing, with controlling of others' behaviors, whether that be in your marriage or from your parents still wanted to control your behavior even when you were 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 30. They wanted to always have some type of say or control or influence. And of course that's okay, but we are at points in our lives where our affirmation, our own inner dialogue should be the most powerful voice in our existence. But that's something that we really have to charge up. We have to make it strong, and we do that through repetition. We do it just like they did it. They did it through repetition. Now we got to do it through repetition. We have to make our voice big and loud and strong. And sometimes that means yelling in the mirror a little bit. Sometimes that means, some morning affirmations that might be a little loud. I don't have a problem with it being a little loud in the morning. Even parents, which is so difficult. Exactly. Hey, everybody who came in, I'm just scrolling through these comments. Yes, Mia, restricting certain info to certain people, it makes a lot of sense. Yes, bite-sized pieces. You have to let people digest things that they can, right? Milk for babes, right? Steak for men. I learned that in church. Twanisha says, obey this princess. Who's Twanisha? Hey, girl. She says, exactly. I'm starting up my own business soon, and my mom and auntie are trying to make me turn from it, but I'm going to stick with it. And let me tell you something about this. Failure is something that people try to protect us from as if it's not the key to success. People think that we shouldn't fail. But if you start your business, you are going to experience failure. You are going to experience disappointment. You are going to experience hurt and pain, financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically. You're going to be tired from waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and not going to bed until 11 p.m. that night, or maybe even 12. And then you have children to take care of. It is exhausting. And people from the outside looking in, they might want to protect you from that, but don't let them. Don't protect yourself from failure, because failure is a major key to success. But I get it. That's how parents feel about us. Yes, Jennifer, encourage Twanisha. Stick to your plan, princess. It's your life. Amen. Yes, the spells. Roche says, and our mates. I miss the connection though, Roche. Tell me more about our mates, like having to limit information from people who care about us because they're trying to protect us. Is that what you're talking about? Because I know the Hubs is a pusher. He's a real pusher. And it makes me feel criticized all the time. So I have to protect some of my baby ideas. And it's like, you think that you shouldn't because it's your spouse, but your spouse is human too. They mess up. They had the same, they marinated in the same types of mess, or completely different mess sometimes, and it shows up in the relationship. You got to have boundaries there too. My love language is words of affirmation. Yes, that's why you have to love on yourself, girl. One of my love language, my second love language is words of affirmations. Jennifer said, I've been stressed lately, so I can read. I've been stressed lately at work, and we have a new hire, so it changes the atmosphere. Anyway, I was saying affirmations out loud, and it really did work. I felt energized. I'm telling you, like, words carry vibrations, and all emotion is vibration. So when you start to change your own vibration, especially like from here and into your own ears, and you're hearing your own voice, affirmations can be very powerful because you're just casting a spell on yourself. This is so good. I'm so glad you're here. Did you tell me your name? I need to know names so I can say it, so I can feel you, girl. Let's see. Hey, I meant laugh, laugh, laugh. Box is listening too and is totally agreeing with you, sis. Hey, bro. I'm so glad you're here. I love it when couples listen to me together. And this is actually my favorite couple, Box and Shay. I love it when they listen together, because what I always hear after, like the woman of the relationship will text me and be like, girl, we talked about something that you said for an hour after. And if I can ignite certain conversations between couples, it is like the joy of my heart, because there's certain things that we have such a hard time breaking into as far as communication in marriage or coupledom, that if I can spark that, it's like, ooh, happy dance. Y'all, I have been twerking for happy dances lately. What is up with that? I don't know. I think it's something about being 33. I don't know. Jennifer says, failure leads to the right path. So does rejection. Yes, it does. No has a transformative power, doesn't it? When you start to accept it. Yes. Tonisha says, thank you, girl. Roche says, feeling affirmation. Box is about to type something. Yes, I cannot wait. Let me hear it, bro. I'm ready. I'm feeling the love. There is love here for you, Tonisha. Y'all, do we not know what it's like to be a young entrepreneur? I didn't get the courage to really focus on my business until I was in my 30s. You know, because it's so much fear surrounding taking that risk and making that leap. And there's so many voices that are telling us, oh my God, you're gonna do what? Start a business? Ugh, like get a job like the rest of us. But you don't even listen to those voices, because being an entrepreneur, when you see something that you've created, that the effort that you've put in, turn into happy customers, happy clients, making your mark on the world, giving your gifts, spreading your life, and financial freedom, baby, there is nothing like it. There is nothing like it. It's like having a baby. It's like giving birth to a child from yourself. And it's the same thing. Your masculine energy that lives inside of you, and your feminine energy that lives inside of us all as men and women. Doesn't matter what your gender is, we both have masculine and feminine energy. And when you put those things together and birth yourself a successful business, there's nothing like it. So all the best to you. Facts, fam. You feel me? Ishak has a very, very successful studio and an upcoming event on the 16th? Power Shoots. You feel me? So, okay, let's get back to it. While we're waiting for my brother to put his question in, let's go back to the process of forgiveness, right? So forgiveness is something, and this is something that we can use for the upcoming, the event is on the 17th of this month in Atlanta. So if you're here, check it out. The process of forgiveness is something that will help us this year, this Thanksgiving, right? So what we can do, so first of all, forgiveness is not just one act. You don't just say it. You don't just say, I forgive you, and then walk away from it. Forgiveness is a desensitization. Sounds right. Of the reaction or emotions that are attached to an event. So let's say that let's just pick something out. Let's say that 3 years ago, your father hit you across the face during a heated argument. Let's not say he hit you. Let's say he called you a bitch, right? And a lot of us are not accustomed to our fathers calling us out our name like that. So it was a mistake. He was in the heat of the moment. But it really hurt you. It devastated you, actually. And so every year at Thanksgiving, you're still, or when the holidays come around, you gotta be around your dad. And you're still thinking and about, you're holding the thoughts, but you're also holding the emotion of when he called you out of your name. He called you a bitch. And you associate, there's so many beliefs that are associated with how deep that pain can go. My father, if he loved me, he would have never said that. If he respected me, if I was truly his daughter, if he loved me like he loves my brother or my sister, he would have never done that. We have all these messages circulating. And because there's no communication about it, because a lot of times when things like that happen, we just say I'm sorry and move on, but we don't process through it, the emotions and the thoughts are still there. So true forgiveness is allowing yourself to interact with those emotions during a time that is not, where you're not agitated. So this is not you're not going to do this at Thanksgiving, at the Thanksgiving dinner table. You're going to do this in the weeks approaching Thanksgiving. So let's say if you started today and you took a moment, maybe, let's say when you got home from work, the kids are bathed, everybody's kind of settling in, and you do your nighttime routine. And during that nighttime routine, maybe even in the shower before you get into the bed, you take a few moments and think about that moment when he called you a bitch. And you connect with the emotions of it, and you allow them just to be there. Now, beware. When the emotion comes up, you may cry, you may have a reaction, you may feel like all of those emotions that were there before you're going to feel them again. It's okay. Just feel through it. So you got the thought, you have the memory, and you have the emotional response, and you're just giving it space to be there. You're just giving it space. Hey, Queen. Hey, Queen Nadia. You're just giving it. We're talking about forgiveness, girl. You're just giving it space to be there. And you might do that every night in the shower. Now, before you get out of the shower, you are going to do an exercise that's called the container, because you don't want these emotions just running wild and these memories just running wild through your life, so that it affects your everyday and the things that you have to get done, right? So the container is a visualization of you taking this memory. First of all, you're going to give the memory an ending. When you give the memory an ending, it's going to be a happy one. It doesn't have to be associated with the actual event. The ending could be today when you bit into that delicious sandwich at lunchtime and felt overjoyed. Anybody love food like that? Food just makes me happy. Or, you got a dessert that was so decadent, or you had your first child, or you graduated high school or college, or you got your master's degree, or you got your clinical license. You know what I'm saying? Just a happy time in your life. You're going to choose that as your ending. You're going to go to that ending, and you're going to take the memory that you were just working with, right? So the memory that gives you an uncomfortable emotional response. You're going to take that memory and you're going to put it in something, into a container. Make the container have a lid. Remember, this is all in your imagination. You're visualizing this as an exercise after you do the work of holding space for the emotion. Put it in a container, put the lid on. When the lid is on, you're going to put it somewhere. You can put it on a shelf. You can put it in a cabinet, close the door. You can put this into a safe with a door that you got to crank and open and throw it in there and push it back and spin the lock like on the movies. And then in your mind, you can throw that safe in the middle of the ocean. Whatever works for you. And if the memory comes back up, put it in a bigger container. Put it in a more secure place. Bury it in a volcano. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't, like, don't give your imagination any limitations. Just let it run wild, but put it in a container and put it somewhere. You can access it later. We're just putting it away so that we can function without being randomly connected with those kinds of emotions. Okay? So making space for your emotions, containering it, and then moving on, right? What this is going to do over time is make you less sensitive to this particular occurrence, this experience, and you are going to be freed from that emotional attachment, that reaction. It's not going to hurt as bad. Okay? It's not going to hurt as bad. And so when it comes up in your mind at the Thanksgiving table, you won't feel like you want to cry because you've already been processing it. You've already sat with it by yourself. And so it's going to be a lot less sensitive. You've been putting the heat, it's like putting shea butter and tea tree oil on a wound. You know, you put it on, it might sting a little, but it heals it. And after a while, when you put it on, it doesn't hurt as much. When you touch it, it doesn't hurt as much. It's actually a nice little scar there. And you live with it. It's still there, but it's not as painful. And you can look at it and be okay with it and accept it. That is true forgiveness. True forgiveness is when it doesn't affect you anymore. You are able to honestly and truly let it go. And what that does, it gives you so much power in the room because you're taking your focus off of punishing someone for their actions and place it on healing yourself for the result of their actions. Your response to their actions, how it made you feel. That's what you got to heal. You don't have to punish anybody. You don't have to stay mad. You know, you don't have to stay attached to making them pay for what they've done. That's not our work. That's God's work. That is not our work, making somebody pay for something that they did. Our work is to honor, heal, love ourselves. Yes? Yes. Okay, Jennifer says, not to get too personal, me and my mom never got along. She was verbally and physically abusive. We spoke once about our relationship, but nothing ever changed. Now that I'm in this personal growth, I want to forgive her, but it still bothers me. Will I be able to fully forgive her? Will the feelings ever go away? So, I don't think the feelings will ever go away. The memories never go away. But you can practice this. You can use this practice of holding space for your emotions and your memories and then containing them and doing that on a regular basis so that they lose the hold they have on you. Now, once you are able to create a space where emotions are not as volatile when these things come up, when these memories come up, when they're not as uncomfortable, then you can start to create a safe space for you and your mother to communicate. And by the way, thank you for getting personal, girl. Thank you for trusting this village and this space that we create together to say those things. I so appreciate it because it takes a lot of courage to put your stuff out, you know, to put your work on the table, but that is what this is. That's what I've created this space. That's what we create this space together to solve our problems and to heal our wounds. Because when we heal our wounds, we make space for healthy communication, for healthy relationships. And when you and your mom, when you're able to heal your wounds that your mother has caused, you can get to know her as a human being without holding these experiences in front of her like a veil. because that's what we do. We start to build a wall or sew together a curtain or tapestry. We put it right in front of the person, so we don't forget that they cussed us out that one time. They don't forget they hurt us that other time. They stole our dollar. You know, they cussed at our boyfriend that we really loved and caused us to lose the relationship. They didn't praise us when we were trying something new. And we just take all these experiences and we sew the blanket or we put together the tapestry and we put it right in front of them. And so now we're not looking at the person. We're looking at the person through the veil of all the things that they've done. And when we want to continue relationships with people, we have to use forgiveness. We have to take every one of those threads, every one of those bricks, every one of those experiences, and we have to heal them. And in that healing, we can create space for us to be together, to know each other, to learn more about each other. Oh my goodness, there are things that I am still learning about my parents, and I've known them for 33 years. And we have to stop thinking that we've got it all figured out. We have to stop thinking that a person is only defined by the behaviors that the things that they've done to us. Because so many times people are acting from their place of pain, and it has nothing to do with you. You are a casualty of the war that they're having with themselves. That is like a crazy thing to watch happen. It hurts even more when I see that, let's say, my 12-year-old son is a casualty of my frustrations that I've been going through all day, or my husband is a casualty of my frustrations that have been happening all day long. And I come home or I interact with them and it's not kind. And sometimes our war is so intense on the inside that the damage that is done, the fallout around us can be tragic. It can be abusive. It can be damaging. And so as we start to heal those things, we can see the person. Okay, let me go back. Yes, I'm going to practice that. Thank you, Mia. You're welcome, Jennifer. Thank you for being here. Okay, Roche says, and being grateful. Let me put the screen up, and being grateful that you're no longer in that situation. The pain may come up when you think about it, but it quickly turns into being proud of yourself and thankful for a better life. Yes, Roche, yes. And let me say this, that is alchemy. When you can transmute or transform your pain into pride or your pain into strength, it's already there. We're not creating pain to turn into strength, right? We're not creating suffering to turn into strength. But when you have suffering in your past and you are able to transform it into strength, it's like happy dance, and you feel so good and so proud of yourself. Even to go through that process, you look back like, dang, Mia, you used to want to gouge somebody's eyes out when you thought about that. If this was 10 years ago, she may have got knocked upside her head. And look at you now. You just can have that conversation with yourself. You can affirm yourself. You can make peace with it. And then no memory, no person, no experience ever has the power over you to make you act other than you want to act, other than you is your highest self, your highest version. You getting closer and closer to that, to the Mia that I hold in my mind, that is doing her thing, living her best life emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, in alignment with all the things that I want. That's who I'm striving to be. And every time I act like her, there goes the happy dance. Every time I act like her, it's pride, right? Okay, let's see. Yeah. That's it for me. That's all the info that I had about forgiveness. If you guys have any questions about forgiveness, feel free to ask them, or if you guys want to talk about anything else. I get so close to the hour that I forget. I get so into this that I forget we only have an hour. Roche says, yep. So we need to keep that in mind when amongst those people that have hurt us. Exactly. It's like practice, right? You practice in outside of the circumstances, right? You practice outside of the experiences. You praise yourself for your healthy responses before you show up at the table, the Thanksgiving table in this circumstance. And then when you get there, it's not as hard. And even if you do it in your imagination, that's enough. They have done so many studies, but one in particular I always remember about basketball players because it's an old one and it's brought up so much when we're talking about brain science. So there were two groups of basketball players, one that was given the opportunity to shoot free throws for, let's say, 30 days. And they actually went in the gym and was shooting. They was shooting in the gym. The other group just imagined themselves, visualized themselves shooting in the gym. The group that imagined themselves did just as well as the group that actually was in the gym moving their muscles. You can change so much with just by thinking about it, just by visualizing it, just by catching the emotion of your thoughts. You can really get yourself in a space where going into Thanksgiving, you are already feeling full and complete and unwanting. Don't go into Thanksgiving hungry. Don't go into Thanksgiving hungry for attention, hungry for affirmation, hungry for emotional attachment or emotional connection, especially if you know that these things have been issues in the past. Don't go into Thanksgiving hungry for those things. Fill yourself up with those things before you even walk through the door. And then there'll be no room for disappointment because you'll already be full and all you'll have is light. You'll just be walking through this space, shining your light. People will catch that vibe and they won't even come at you like that. Or they'll catch it and say, oh, you are glowing. What have you been doing? I am happy. Thank you. I'm so happy. Oh, you look really happy. I am. Thank you very much. I am. Good to see you. I'm gonna go talk to Aunt Mary. Hey, there go Aunt Mary over there. Hey, Aunt Mary. And some of us go into these situations and there is one or two, maybe more family members who we really do want to see. Sometimes that's what keeps us going back because you don't have to go. I'm a firm believer in not participating in dysfunctional ass tradition. I'm just not. Because if there was abuse going on and I was being abused for years and you didn't do anything to protect me, I'm not coming to Thanksgiving dinner with you. I'm just not. That's not happening. I'm not going to participate in the dysfunction because it makes you feel comfortable. Because it makes you feel empowered. It makes you feel like you didn't do anything. Not me. But there are some people, when they go into these spaces, their grandma is there, or their great grandma is there, or, a cousin that they haven't seen in 20 years that was their ace, they're gonna be there. And you really want to go. You really want to be there, but you don't want to participate in the bullshit. Arm yourself. Don't go in hungry. Don't go in with anything to prove. Fill yourself up with self-love and compassion for self and non-judgment and internal dialogue that is positive and affirmations that you've been saying for the last 2 weeks, every single day. And when you say them for every single day for 2 weeks, when challenges come, boom, there's your affirmation. Boom, there's your positive internal dialogue. Boom, there's your self-love. Boom, there's your self-affirmation. Boom, there's your feeling of not being judged. You've been doing that for yourself for 2 weeks, so who can do it to you? I got blind. I don't even see that. I don't even see it. I'm cousin, grandma, auntie. I came just for you. And you sit with them and hold their hand and hold that space of true, authentic relationship. And you live in that and you enjoy it. And then pack your to-go plate and leave. It's okay. You don't have to stay around to play the game or play the role because someone's gonna ask, why did Mia leave so quickly? Because Mia only came to see grandma. You don't remember? And let them have that dialogue. It doesn't affect me. It does not affect me once I leave. And if somebody tries to have the conversation, they pick up the phone, hey girl, Auntie was talking about how you left early from the Thanksgiving. Oh, girl, I have had the best day. How's your day going? Girl, let me tell you about my day. That's what you don't engage in those conversations. You change the subject. You talk about what you want to talk about. That's a real boundary. You say, ring ring, hey girl, what's up? Oh yeah, Uncle Tony said that you left Thanksgiving at like 5 o'clock. Girl, did you try the green bean casserole that grandma hooked up this year? Girl, that joint was off the chain, wasn't it? Yes, I know, right? Okay, girl, it was so good talking to you. Gotta go. Done. Not engaging. Disengage, because you don't have to participate. I don't know. We got this this script. We made this agreement. This agreement was forced upon us when we were young, when we were children, that you had to show up and you had to play nice and you had to make everybody feel comfortable, and you could not take care of yourself. You had to give Uncle whoever a hug, even though you felt very uncomfortable. You had to let, your great grandma kiss you, even though she just came in from smoking Newports. You had to eat everything on your plate, including the turkey, the ham, and, the liver, even though you wanted to be a vegetarian. You had to do those things. It was forced upon you, this belief that you have to conform in your family settings. And let me just tell you, sis, let me just tell you, bro, it is not true. You do not have to conform in these situations. I give you the permission to do something different this year. Give yourself the permission to do something different this year. Even if you make something completely new up, you can do that. Honor yourself by doing that. Honor yourself by creating your armor of positivity, by creating your thoughts, by creating your affirmations, by creating spaces to forgive. Do that for yourself this year so that your experience can be like no other year. That's what we do when we're intentional about our mental wellness journey. We create experiences that are our best life. When we live in our best life, that's intentional. That's not something that just falls in our lap. We got to do this work, y'all. I'm here for it. I am. Famaya, I missed your comment. Let me see. Famaya says, should we take what people say out of anger seriously or let it go? I came in late, but hi, beautiful. Hey, Famaya, how's that baby? No, I wouldn't. How can I Google the B-ball study? I would love to dig deeper. I'm going to find it, and I will put it, when I post this on YouTube, I will put it in the paragraph underneath, because I just heard it again in this YouTube video that I was just watching. So I'll find the study, but it's a visualization study, or a mind over matter study, or something like that. But to your question, should I take something serious that was said out of anger? Now, if any of us have been angry, really angry before, then we know that sometimes things come out to wound the other person. It's like a sword coming out. And even though the thing that we're communicating is in our mind, it's not something that we necessarily wanted to let out. Yeah, I know personally that there are so many things that go on in my mind that are not truth for me, that are not real, and that I don't want to share, and we all have those things. But anger reduces the inhibition. It's like drinking. It's like having too much to drink and then just word vomiting all of your thoughts and feelings. It doesn't come out in a way that is productive or healthy for a relationship, because a healthy relationship is not one where people just say what's on their mind all the time. A healthy relationship is one where you are able to process your thoughts and emotions and then communicate them clearly to the person that you love. or the person that you're in relationship with. And that happens in the workplace, it happens in the family, it happens in the marriage, it happens in the coupledom, it happens in the love ships, period, in the relation, it happens in the classroom. And so many times people will use anger as an excuse to cover up what they did before. Like, oh, I was just angry. Like saying, oh, I was just drunk, but it's not okay. It's not okay. What you should take seriously is the communication in anger and say, listen, I know you were angry, but next time, let's practice I statements. I feel hurt. I feel frustrated when you yelled at me about my cooking, because when I cook for you, it's out of love. Next time, would you please take a moment to calm down before you start to interact with me about any subject? That an I statement is such a powerful tool of communication, because you are able to, one, take ownership of your own feelings and what's going on with yourself. Two, identify what triggered you and your emotion, right? And you're communicating your emotion, what triggered you and your emotion. And you're asking for what can be done better. You're giving suggestion. Next time, can we please do this? And it might take a little while to form an I statement that really effectively communicates your feelings, because you want to take time to process them. An I statement that effectively communicates what triggered you, because you want to be honest, you want to be real, and you want to be certain about what triggered you, because sometimes we think it was the words that triggered us, but really it could be the facial expression. The facial expression could have been what really took it over, into disrespect, into me feeling disrespected. And you want to be clear about, you want to communicate effectively what it is that we can use as a solution. And so for Maya, when someone is communicating with you out of anger, I would take them seriously, but I would give them the opportunity to follow up their communication, to make anything clear, and to honestly forgive them for anything said that they did not want to say, that they should not have said, and they are honestly remorseful for it. And they say, I really should not, have called you out of your name. I shouldn't have called your mom out of her name. I shouldn't really have been talking about, the way that you cleaned the bathroom, because that really wasn't the issue. The issue is what I said before, which was, I really just wanted to, brush my teeth, and you left toothpaste on the sink, and that really made me angry. It gives them the opportunity. It holds space for them to still communicate with you. But if you hold on so tightly to what they said, then you're trying to figure out what it means. You're trying to figure, okay, well, you told me that you were mad because I never cleaned the bathroom, and I know I clean that bathroom. I clean it every Saturday. But that's not the real issue. And you see how you can get stuck on something someone said in anger instead of the real issue, which may have been, that he had a headache from his teeth hurting or something like that. He wanted to brush his teeth, and seeing that there was toothpaste on the countertop affected his teeth brushing experience, something. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for your participation. It is time to wrap up. This hour goes so fast, but I so appreciate your time. I appreciate your openness, your vulnerability. I love you all. I love that you're here every Thursday. Thank you for being here with me. Just to let you guys know, I am offering a holiday special. If you guys want to work directly with me, and you have something that you're wanting to work through, I have a 9-session package, and 9 sessions is plenty to work through one issue. for $526, and it's a little over $300 off of the regular price. But believe me, it is so worth it, because if you think what we're doing right here is really valuable, get me on the phone and you will see that the personal counsel that I can give is really, really transformative. And I believe in my work. I know you're here because you believe in my work and you believe in the gifts that I have to give. And I'm just really, really grateful for you all. Thank you guys so much again, and I will see you next time. I love you too. We got 20 seconds. Let's happy dance until the time runs out. Happy dance until the time runs out. I hope you guys are ready for Thanksgiving. Do your work. Do your work. Fill yourself with treasures to take into the space. Don't go hungry. Don't go into Thanksgiving hungry. Love you guys.